Hello, hotties. Welcome back to another little Patreon episode, but also public episode. Ooh, little special something for you on this beautiful Thursday. I don't know what is in the air, but the renewed sense of like self and life that I have right now is quite enthralling, if I do say so myself. I was up at 7:30. Why, you ask? I don't know, but I was up, got a full night's rest, thank God. Went over to my parents' house because I'm watching their dog. They're in Alaska, living their best life. I don't know. They're retired. They're just really running around doing whatever. And good for them because I put them through a lot, safe to say. So yes, I will watch your dog. I got over there like 8. We did a big walk. We did like an hour-long walk. And then I went to Pilates. And this specific Pilates was not Pilates. Okay, the Pilates I have been doing is very like, okay, deep breathing, stretching, like a slight sweat. When I tell you, this Pilates class I took, I was dripping in sweat. My hair right now is like wet. It feels like I just took a shower. Sorry, TMI, but it was kind of nice. It was a good change of pace. Those endorphins are pumping inside me. I'm feeling good. It was a great class. Got it done early. And then I was driving home and I saw a sign that was like hoarder mom moving out, years of collectibles starting Thursday. I was like, today, let me whip my fucking car around, pull up, and I got, oh my God, hold on. Let me grab this. I got this insane Penny Lane coat for $10. Hello. To be fair, I pulled up, it was just a normal garage sale, but I spotted this bad boy from the street, and then she had a bunch of other leather coats that were like $35, $45. So there was no price tag on this, so I was like, if it's $35, I'm not buying it. Like, I have plenty of coats, it's not that big of a deal. She's like, yeah, I was gonna list it for $15, but I'll give it to you for $10. Deal. On the way home, came home, made a smoothie, my breakfast for the day. I have been loving smoothies. These are so good in the morning. It's just Greek yogurt, frozen berries, frozen banana, matcha, a little energy in there. What else? Honey. I think that's it. I like to keep my smoothies pretty simple. I have a bunch of kale I really need to start adding in so I can get some like greens in. And yeah, the rest of the day I'm pretty much just chilling. For those of you who don't know and maybe haven't been a part of the Patreon, this is kind of how we do the Patreon podcast. It's a very chill, relaxed, kind of YouTube style Q&A every week. I like how it's a little bit more personal that way. I feel like with the microphone and the editing, there's kind of like a slight disconnect in that sort of way, although it is professional and love that for a podcast. Please be professional. Please, if it's an audio podcast, I'm gonna need to have the audio up, like the best audio I can possibly find. But for the Patreon podcast, we're pretty much just chilling, enjoying our week. And I love that it's just a sit down little hangout Q&A sesh. So if you're not a Patreon member, please come hang out. I post so much on here. I love connecting with you guys, seeing what's on your mind. I always do Monday manifestations, affirmations of the week, just to kind of put some good vibes out there, kind of uplift everybody with some inspiring words or quotes or pictures that I find. I share a lot of on those days, like things from my Tumblr or things from my Pinterest account, which are not public because that's where I get creative and it's okay to have that private, but I do share it with you guys still. And then I'll do like astrology updates. There's some eclipses coming up, and I think we have a full moon coming up as well, so about to do some write-ups on that, fill you guys in, tell you guys some good, I always give either spell work to do or maybe manifestation tips or journal prompts. We do weekly journal prompts every Sunday. And yeah, much more fun things. I love hanging out with my Patreon girlies. It's like a fun little girls club. And I love having you guys. So I love that everybody else gets to kind of see a little sneak peek a little free dive in on what we do here. But with that being said, let's get into your guys' questions. All right. Someone's asked, how do you stay on track as a freelance artist? Deadlines don't feel real when I'm the one setting them. Okay, real. I had a really hard time with this, especially in the beginning, because it's like, if you don't want to, you don't have to. And that's really tempting because I'm so fucking lazy. Like, if I don't have to, I really won't, honestly. But in reality, I get such a high off of crossing things off my to-do list and feeling productive. I don't know if it's like my ADHD brain that just needs things to do to feel fulfilled, or just like the overproductive kind of toxic work ethic that I have, where it's like, if I don't get 10 things done, then I feel like I didn't use the day properly. But I do think if you're having a hard time delegating tasks and planning, especially as a freelance artist, if the tasks are just existing in your head, it's very hard to complete those tasks and actually put them into like fruition and to actually complete them. I think you need a planner. You need a really good planner. You need a really good area, space, whether it's a journal, sticky notes, whatever, to list things out and cross them out. And you have to set deadlines for yourself. You're like, deadlines don't feel real when you're the one setting them, but you kind of have to imagine that like you're your own boss. I mean, literally, you're your own boss. And if you are a bad worker, you're gonna get fired. The same way as if you were working for somebody else. Like, straight up, you kind of have to hold yourself to that standard. I have like also a personality disorder, so it's kind of easier for me to be like, okay, the boss said this, even though it's just me. But I think having a planner, setting those deadlines, setting those hard deadlines, and delegating tasks in order to complete those deadlines in a timely manner, and crossing things off physically. Don't keep those things in your head. Honestly, don't even keep them on a computer. Having them on a computer and not being able to like physically check them or cross them off, it doesn't feel as satisfying. I don't want to complete the tasks. Physical planner, find one that works for you, find some colored pens, and get into it. You know what I mean? Because you will be fired by yourself if you don't get that shit done. Hi, Hannah. So I've been trying to be more of an influencer on my Instagram, and it gets a little scary, but I was wondering, how did it feel starting out on social media? What did you do to feel comfortable being online? Could you share some tips on how you got through the beginning? I'm from a small town, and perception from the people here is what discourages me the most. Thank you, Hannah. If you've already talked about this, I'm down to listen to the ep. Seriously, thank you for the great energy. Love you. I feel like I've touched on this briefly. I've touched on everything briefly, let's be real, but I don't mind going over it again. When I was first starting off online, it was during the end of the pandemic, like 2021. And I think the way that I started posting and the way I blew up was not like intentional on my part. You hear a lot of influencers who are like, I'm gonna post 50 videos a day and people are just gonna recognize me, and that's gonna build facial recognition. They're gonna wanna interact with my content more. Fantastic, that is a great plan, but that's gonna fucking kill me because it's gonna feel like work. And if social media feels like work, I'm not gonna wanna do it. Sure, some of it is work. I have to get a podcast up on Tuesdays. I have to get a Patreon podcast up on Thursdays, but I still want that air of funness. Okay, because like, although it is work, it's like, how lucky am I to be here? And like, I'm here to have a good, silly little time on the internet, and that's how it should always be. So I started off that way. I did not give a fuck about what people thought about me, because the only people who followed me that I cared about what they thought about me were like friends, which first of all, they already know me. They're not gonna judge me. I had blocked my family. I still have them blocked, just because it brings me a piece of peace of mind. Hello. It brings me peace of mind. Also, like, they're my family. They don't need to interact with my smoking and cooking content. Like, sure, cousins, whatever, who get it, that's fine. But also, like, you can protect your peace in that way, where it's like, if someone exists in your phone that you paid $1,500 for, you're not gonna bother me here. I'll see you at Sunday dinner. also, like, if haters are getting to you, you can block and move on. But also, like, I'm not gonna let you bother me in my $1,500 phone. Now, the way that I was posting was simply for, I was lonely, okay? Like, when I started, it was during the pandemic. I wasn't hanging out with a lot of people. I just met my boyfriend, like, that's really it. And I just wanted to connect with people. I just wanted to make engaging content that I could interact with people and enjoy time together in that sort of way. And I think if you go about social media creation and interaction, especially like as in the influencer world, that is going to get you further than anything else, okay? The girlies who are like brand deal, brand deal, brand deal, brand deal, that's boring. I don't want to see that, girl. I don't give a fuck about your Crest white strips. You know what I mean? Like, what did you do today? Like, what's your personality? What's your hard days? What's your good days? I want to hear it all. And when I'm not getting that, I don't feel as interested. I want the realness. I want the rawness. I want the connection. And I think that's what people want from social media. I think that's what makes social media so enthralling, is that you kind of forget about your life and you get to kind of jump into someone else's, but also you can apply that to your life and maybe find inspiration and take inspiration and garner peace and positivity from those things. So when it comes to being an influencer and just posting on social media in general, I know it's easier said than done to not give a fuck, but also you cannot let the perception of other people control you, or else you're going to be a puppet for the rest of your life. There's people who are not going to like you, straight up. There's people who are not going to like you. There's people who are going to be talking about you behind your back. There's people who are going to be showing your posts to each other, giggling and laughing in the chilies. But also, like, who fucking cares? That's going to happen whether you post on social media or not. Straight up. And if those people are gonna bother you, if there's certain little people in your small town that you're like, I know they're gonna talk shit about me, block them. What are they gonna do? Be like, why'd you block me? Be like, you have bad vibes. I don't want you here. Hello? Why are you talking to me? You know? I think people think that they owe other people a lot more, that they owe other people like a lot more, space and time from themselves than they actually do. I think what Chappell Rowan said about like, hey, I am deserving of my own time and my own space and my own peace, and if you step over those things, like, we're gonna have a problem. I think that is very real, and I think you need to garner that peace and those boundaries within your posting and within your social media experience in order to have a good time. So block, post your heart away. I think to get over the posting scaries, you just literally have to keep posting. Like, it's gonna be scary every time you upload, but like, fuck it, just post. If you really are scared, make a new account, start from zero and just have a good time. That's the whole part of it, you know, is connecting, having a good time, and really enjoying that space and that community that you're creating. Because ultimately, like, what you say and what you do does have meaning and will draw in a certain attention. So be intentional about who you want to bring to your space. Hopefully that helped you. I understand the small town scaries, but also, like, most people are stupid, so why the fuck would I care what they think? You know? Hi Hannah, I've been at this new serving job for a couple months, and I can be oblivious to guys flirting with me. I have this one male who ignores me and is so awkward and clearly nervous when talking to me. When few people are on, it's clear he goes out of his way to avoid me, or when he is around me, it's so shy, goofy, and awkward, which he's not like with anyone else. I'm starting to catch on, and my friend, when I tell her about it, says he's acting like he has a crush, but I have no clue what to do. Oh, by the way, he's my shift lead as well. Men see a bad bitch and they're like, oh, what do I do? Like, they start panicking. It's a little silly. Listen, know your power, okay? Know your power. Especially if you're a server. Like, if I don't want to do something and I know a man has a crush on me, I'm like, oh, can you grab that for me? Like, just, it's gonna make your life easier. Don't engage in the weirdness. Like, I'm so sorry he's being weird. Whenever a man is weird, it's just like, ugh, can you be normal for one fucking second? My God. Like, hello, I'm just existing. I'm a human being. Just because I have tits and I'm hot doesn't mean you have to like treat me differently. But if you're going to, go grab me that bucket of ice. If you're going to, can you do my closing sign work? You know, he definitely has a crush. He definitely thinks you're hot. I don't think I would read too far into it. I also don't think I would like engage or call him out on it, because that's just gonna make the whole situation weirder than it already is because of what he's doing. But ultimately, like, you do have the upper hand here. You know what I mean? You do have the upper hand. You can't get those free meals, girl, okay? Get that help out of the way. But yeah, that's a little awkward. And if it's like so awkward that you don't want to be around him, I think it's okay to take your space. Luckily, if you don't want to be around him, it sounds like he's also avoiding you. So, but yeah, there's like nothing you can really do. Because what are you gonna do? Call him out on it? Or like, I think engaging with him more as a human being will help him take you off that pedestal in that sort of way. Help him kind of get over the crushness of it all. But also, like, do you owe that to him? No, he can figure that out on his own. You're there to make money. Focus on that, honey. Hey, gorgeous girl, loved hearing about your trip. My question for you is this. I'll be graduating from my undergrad in the spring, and I still really don't know what I want to do. There are just so many options out there, and I feel drawn to a variety of different things, but it's so hard to choose what to pursue, and I'm honestly nervous to leave the service industry after working there for so long. Any advice on choosing your career and being brave? So everything about adulthood is taking risks. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry to break that to you. I know, I hate taking risks. It's the worst, okay? But also, the great thing about being an adult is you kind of walk through this path and it feels so closed in, especially in college, like this tight path. You know exactly where to walk, you know exactly where to put one step in front of the other, and then all of a sudden, you enter this grand, massive clearing, and there's like mountains in front of you, and there's a forest, and there's frolicking deer, and you're like, where the fuck do I go? Okay, the trail ends. You're like, where do I go to the mountain? Do I go to that meadow? Like, it all looks good, it all sounds good, but like, where the fuck do I go? And the beautiful thing is, you can explore that entire space. You just have to start in one direction. That entire space is open to you. If you start in one direction, doesn't mean it closes off the entire space. The entire space still exists. You can just maneuver and change or keep going wherever you want to go. That is the beautiful thing about being an adult. You do have so much freedom, so much free time. So if you are in undergrad and you graduate in the spring, keep the serving job. Don't give that up until you have like a full-time fucking job, okay? Because the amount of people that I work with that were like in law school, in going to school still, trying new things out on the side, but still need money because jobs at an undergrad notoriously do not pay the most. I don't think you have to be too worried about leaving the service industry. Stay there, keep your shifts, do your thing, but I do highly encourage you just applying to whatever your heart desires, okay? This would be a good time to look into internships, maybe internships in different states if you want to try that out. This is also a great time to be saving money in case you do need to move. But this is the time where you just like, you need to open your mind's eye instead of closing it and just be like, okay, so, well, A, what the fuck do I do? But what the fuck do I not do? You know, make a list of all the things that interest you. Go on Indeed, go stalk some people on LinkedIn. I think those are the apps. I don't know. I'm not there, but go stalk some people, go look at your dream companies, go see what they require, go see, you know, what interests you, and just apply. Especially to those internships. I think when you're too afraid to commit and you kind of want to dabble in a bunch of different things, especially after undergrad, internships are great for that. And there's always some available, especially if you're in college. I feel like they're pretty easy to get into. I was literally honestly looking for internships, but they're so hard to find if you're not literally a student. So they're like, we don't want you, girl, give me an opportunity. But sorry, smoothie break. Your life is just beginning, okay? You're entering the clearing. There's a beautiful, bright path ahead of you. All you have to do is find one thing that interests you, okay? The first thing you see, do you see the mountains? Do you see the meadow? Do you see the deer? Do you see the forest? and just head that direction. Guess what? If you don't like it, you can immediately change pace and go somewhere else. But the first thing you have to do is just start walking one way. You got this. I believe in you. My sister is starting high school, and I never did in-person high school, but she's struggling with the drama and the boys and the etc. I want to give her good advice. Do you have any tips for freshman girls? Do not get involved with boys. If you are in high school, do not get involved with any boys at all. Okay, literally. Like, you can be friends. I had many guy friends, but do not, like, you are so young. High school is already hard enough. So many hormones are going on. There's drama, there's girlfriends, there's whatever. Do not date in high school. You can still have fun. You can still go to a dance with somebody. You can still flirt it up. But I did not interact with men sexually or romantically in high school at all. And I think it saved me so much brain space. I think it saved me like so much time and energy. Sure, you can have your little crushes and you're, ooh, cute, but like, don't engage. Do not engage, okay? The drama and the stuff in high school, especially with the boys, it's because of boys. You will have drama with girls because of boys, and it's like, girl, why are we fighting? Like, what the fuck is going on? It's just not worth it, okay? Find those good friends that ride for you, stick by their side, go have fun, pass your fucking classes. That's all that matters, literally. People go into high school, they think they're an adult. You're not. You're still a child. You need to take your life seriously and not just throw it away, especially early. And freshman year is so hard. I went to the psych ward freshman year. Listen, I get it. Freshman year is hard. So literally, and the thing that sent me to the psych ward was my, obviously, depression and the mental health issues that I was facing, but also just like the transitionary period is so hard. And adding in all those other factors is gonna make it so much harder. So like, sure, have your crushes, whatever, don't engage. Find those good girlfriends, show up to class, do the best you can, ask for help if you need it. That's literally your only focus. Make sure you are mentally healthy, sane, and sound. I could not emphasize that anymore for freshman girlies. Will you share a song you are loving right now and some outfit inspo? Outfit inspo right now is really just comfy, cozy. I've been shopping a lot at Aritzia. I'm not gonna lie. We don't have Aritzia stores in Kansas City, but there was one in Austin, Texas, and I went to Little Wild. But there's this one song I've been loving. Let me look it up. That I've been playing pretty much on repeat. Oh, Susie, Save Your Love. That one's been a really good one. It has Mitski in it. Ali X, I think, and Mitski. 10 out of 10. 10s across the board. Been loving. Also, my dad tried to convince me to go to Billie Eilish, and I really did not get into her latest album, so I've been listening to that a lot as well. Outfit inspo wise, I will be sharing my fall mood board this week, maybe today. That's a goal to work on Patreon, so stay tuned. Hey babe, how to deal with feeling worthless, unfunny, and just overall irrelevant, constantly oversharing and putting myself in uncomfortable situations to keep conversations going. Me. Is it just a mood swing, or am I completely unlikable, LMA? Literally, like, your period's gonna start in 2 days. Hate to say that to you, but also, like, every time I feel this way, and it feels like it's forever. I'm like, oh my god, has it been a month of me feeling this way? No, it's probably been 5 days. I'm like, oh my god, the world hates me. Life is awful. Like, life is so hard. Why me, God? And then it's like, I get the cramp. I'm like, oh, okay. I had a pretty bad mood swing shift like this beginning of last period. It's like 2-3 weeks ago. The episode where I was like, yeah, I cried in the walk-in, that one. And it actually inspired me to download a period tracking app. And I have not used a period tracking app because I just am very particular with the tracking apps that I use. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, okay, so I first of all, most apps are selling your information. The last thing I want a company to know is when I'm on my period. Obviously, okay? The government doesn't need to know that. it's Handmaid's Tale things. But I wanted a app specifically that I wasn't necessarily tracking my period, but I was tracking the moods I was having, the cravings I was having, the acne I was getting and where, and like my energy levels. That's really what I wanted to focus on, because there were obviously things that were happening every month that I was experiencing that felt so out of place and so random, but were obviously not random, and very much so because of my period and because of my cycle. The app I use is called Stardust, and I have loved it. I have loved it. Every day I check my app and it'll be like, okay, you're probably gonna be feeling this way. You might have these symptoms. It's day this of this part of your period. Like, I'm about to enter my ovulation phase. As you can tell, okay, glowing, energy high, Pilates done, smoothie drank. Okay, it tells you what to eat, tells you like things to engage in. Also, like in my ovulation phase, you can't tell, but like I start breaking out really bad around my chin and my neck area because of the estrogen levels rising. Little things like that where it's like, if I wasn't tracking, I would be like, oh my God, why the fuck am I breaking out? Is it because of sugar? I'd be questioning myself. Now I just know, and I have loved this app so much. I think my next period would be a little bit easier, especially with the mood swings and the overall hating myself and everybody else around me, because it's gonna warn me. So when I do feel that crazy, it's like, no, yeah, like yes, but also like, no, it's okay, chill, take your time, rest, relax. So highly recommend. This app has been great. And I think it was free. I don't usually pay for apps, so I'm pretty sure it's free. But 10 out of 10 recommend. Also, you're not worthless, you're not unfunny, you're not oversharing, you're not making things weird, and you're just being yourself. And there's nothing wrong with being yourself. If people don't get it, then they don't get it, and that's their loss. Period. Small steps to feel like you're living and not just existing. The rot has been beating my butt, and I want to be more present and active in my life rather than daydreaming, waiting for life to happen to me. Thank you. It's all about once again, the little things. But one, I guess these are big things that have really been helping me, is having like activities. Like, you were just a child running around. You remember when like you had so many activities? You'd be like, I would wake up, I'd be like, piano lessons 7 a.m, clock in, school 8 a.m, okay, school until 3 to 6:30 was soccer practice. And I come home and I eat dinner and I do homework, and then I get like an hour to chill and relax, and it'd be bedtime. Oh my God, joking. But like, I was booked and busy. Seeing my niece and my nephew, they keep those kids moving and grooving. There is no downtime. And those are the healthiest, smartest, like most enthralling and engaging kids that I have ever seen. And I realized that like we lose that in adulthood so much, and we become like complicit in doing nothing, and it makes us feel like we're a part of the system and life sucks and all that stuff. If we have activities that fuel and drive like our creative desires and impulses, as well as like our physical health and needs, you're going to feel ultimately better about life. I started doing Pilates a month ago. My life has significantly changed since then. I physically have felt better. My energy levels have been higher. I've been leaving the house more and wanting to leave the house more. I have been managing time better because of it. And I never thought that would happen. In fact, I thought Pilates was gonna make my life harder. I feel so much better. That's one of the things that I think you need, like little activities. And I get if you go to like work or school and you're there till like 5 in the afternoon, when you get off work, it's like, fuck, what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm exhausted. And it's okay, you can have those downtime activities. Maybe it is like playing an hour of Dress to Impress. That's your little activity for the day. It's not necessarily rotting because it's not screen scrolling mindlessly, which is okay every once in a while, but it can't be an everyday thing. Maybe it's, this was my favorite thing to do last winter, and I think I'm gonna pick it up again, just need to keep the nails short, was doing a little pottery class once a week and just going, getting creative. Maybe it's a live drawing class, and anything that fuels your inspiration and just your drive for life is so important. And I think specifically activities and things that are done in a group setting outside of yourself and outside of where you live is what makes life so important. My friend, she phrase this in such a specific way that I thought was so special. You need a third place, okay? Your third places are what give you and drive you to be more fulfilling in life, okay? Your first place is your home, your second place is your work. That can't be all that you do. You're gonna feel very, very confined and like just not good overall. You need those third places. So like recently my third places have been the gym, or really that's it. I've been busy, but like I really want to get maybe in a studio. I want to get creative in that sort of way. Maybe it's going to be a tattoo shop here soon. That would be very exciting. But you need those third places. That's what really helps you live and not just exist. How to deal with feeling like you're not deserving of being proud of yourself? I know I should be, but there's a huge gap between knowing it and feeling it. Thank you so much for your input. Ooh. I've dealt with this a lot. I've dealt with this a lot. And I think it stems from like parents. I know that's hard. It's like I know my parents love me and I know they're proud of me, but was it necessarily verbalized or like told to me? Not really. So I was always like fiending for that like approval in a sort of sense, which I didn't need to, because they did approve of me. They just were never clear about it, and I need things to be clear. So I was just like, well, I guess they're not, you know what I mean? Like, So that's been something I've been dealing with a lot in adulthood, and I need to find a therapist. That's on my list to do. I'm just picky. That's something I really want to bring up in therapy. I think simply just telling yourself, whether you believe it, but simply just verbalizing it to yourself is just the basics that you can do. I'm proud of you. After you do a hard thing, look yourself in a mirror and be like, I'm so proud of you. That was amazing. After I go to Pilates, I look myself in the mirror. I'm like, wow, you did that, bad bitch. I'm so proud of you. I think simply like having that affirmation is so much more transformational than any sort of like thought process change, because through that act, you'll actually feel it. And you'll feel more driven, and you will feel more proud of yourself. You just have to verbalize those things to you. Once again, I feel like I was constantly chasing for it in adulthood because it was not verbalized to me. And so like if someone else isn't gonna do it, damn, you might as well. You know, if we're stuck with ourselves for God knows how many years, you might as well be good to yourself and be proud of yourself. But you should be proud of yourself. You're amazing, you're beautiful, you're deserving of everything you've ever dreamed of. And just because, you know, you have failures in the past, we all make mistakes, whatever it is, doesn't mean you are undeserving of being proud of getting how far you have come, you know? I don't think you necessarily have to do big things to be proud of yourself. Sometimes simply waking up in the morning is something to be proud of. Showering at night is something to be proud of. Depends on the struggles you have, but I do think verbalization is very important. Hannah. So happy to hear you were in Austin, my current city. Was so awesome to hear you talk about Krause Springs. I went just last weekend. Oh my God, it was so cute. Also, update on that person I told you about last week who I was worried wouldn't be able to commit. Oh yeah. Girly was like, we had a couple dates, but I'm unsure, you know, the usual. And I was like, ask them straight up. I think it's important, especially when you're in those unknown phases, to be like, okay, so what's going on? But they said, you were so right, except the conversation we had about expectations versus values was random, heat of the moment, usually is. I messaged him the next day to ask him for a follow-up, and he said that he can't give me what I want, can't give you what you want or need right now because he is changing jobs and doesn't know where he's living next. Perfect, but he would let me know if he's staying here so we could pursue a relationship. With not much more than that. I feel like this is some anxious waiting game and I don't know what to do. I deleted everything and I'm letting myself grieve and move on as normal. I'm dramatic, but don't know if I'm being played by potentially expecting him to return to my life. I wouldn't expect him to return at all. I think the last part he said was to soften the blow and help your emotions, but in fact it was kind of the opposite, because now you're like, well, do I wait around? I think the first part is really what matters. He can't give you what you want or need right now because he's changing jobs and doesn't know where he's living next. That's your answer. But I'm glad you deleted everything and are letting yourself grieve and move on as normal. You're not dramatic. That is necessary. You do kind of have to grieve that process as well, but I would not wait around. In fact, if he can't give you what you want, why would you want someone who's going to move on and then come back to you? I think you just delete, block him on everything. You missed your chance. Sorry. But yeah, it sucks. At least you asked the hard question, you got the hard answer. Now you can make a direct decision in your life on what you want to do, and please God, do not wait around for this man. And you can move forward. Fantastic. Problem solved. I think bringing these things up and asking people the hard-hitting questions are very important, and I'm proud of you, and I'm glad you got your answer. Mourn, grieve, eat that ice cream in front of the Sex and the City, you know, wear a silk robe, go treat yourself to something, and I think you'll be okay. But this loser, not you, him, obviously. Ugh, he didn't know what he's missing. I always love your ramble episodes. Definitely great to hear about your experiences. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad about that. Sometimes I'm like, I know I experience it, but is it interesting? Either way, I'm glad I can put out this extra episode so people can kind of, you know, get some questions in, things like that. Okay, we have a few more left. I think we're halfway through. Hi, what are some ways you find romance in the everyday? I want to be in love and experience a romantic connection with someone I never have, but I don't think that's what's going to happen while I'm in college. I've been shutting down a lot of something is wrong with me thoughts recently. I need to express much more gratitude for my situation and remember that romance is everywhere. Much love. Yes, when you start with romance, it's not with other people, it's with yourself. You gotta romance yourself. Okay, you gotta date yourself. Ooh, call yourself sexy. You look good today. Let me take you out to dinner. Let me buy you flowers. You have to romance yourself. Finding romance in the everyday is very easy, and like beautiful things. There's many beautiful things around us. There's many gems and things to find around us. But I think we also forget that like we are the greatest love of our own lives. And if we do not engage and protect that connection, you're gonna lose that romance, and it's gonna be a difficult relationship to have with yourself, you know? So romance yourself a little bit, girl. Take yourself out on a date, treat yourself, feel yourself up, like literally. I think it's so important to do. But nothing is wrong with you, I promise. I think the connection is just off with yourself. Don't focus on romance and connection with other people, okay? I understand you haven't had it, so maybe you are fiending for it a little bit. I feel you. I feel you on that. That was me in the past. I was definitely like, I'll take anything. I'll take anything, you know? But the thing was, I was not romancing myself, and I had not practiced that, and I didn't know what real romance was, and then I found myself in a situation that was harmful because I didn't know what was needed. I didn't know what I needed. And I think we can learn a lot about ourselves through what we need by interacting with ourselves, not with someone else. Although you can learn that way, but I do think interacting with other people is the hard way to learn. Romance yourself a little bit, okay? Everything you want a man to do for you or a woman to do for you or someone else in general, go do that for yourself, okay? Love you. That's your homework for the weekend. Hi, girly. Love your advice, so hopefully you can give me a new perspective. Ooh, okay. My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 years, and we just bought a house together. Okay, big girl things. Things have been great other than working all the damn time to afford life, yes. I know he's going to get burned out, and recently he expressed he's feeling unhappy and like he's not enough. I guess my question is, how should I get him to open up more about feelings when he grew up working through them alone? I'm the same way and just don't know how to reach out to him when he doesn't want to talk about his emotions and instead bottles things up over time. Yeah. I think you gotta even the playing ground, because if he comes home from work and you're like, so let's talk about your emotions, he's like, no more work, please, oh my god, like that would be me. If I came home from work and he's like, so let's, go over why you were crazy this morning, I'd be like, now I'm gonna get crazier. But if you know that you're both working overtime, you see the hard work he's putting in, maybe he's bottling some emotions up to protect you, and you can tell that he's stressed out. You need to, the same way if you were feeling this way and you would want him to, help you and support you through that and, uplift you in that moment, I think you need to do for him. And I think you also will, strengthen the relationship through this. But I think, whenever he comes home from work, you should just, have his favorite meal made or, bought or whatever, put his favorite movie on, set the lights to a cute color, and, greet him at the door and be like, I'm so thankful for you. Welcome home, babe. Like, I got this for you. It doesn't have to be anything expensive, but just like things that you know he enjoys. Maybe he enjoys Legos. I don't fucking know. Like, okay, so let's do a Lego sit together and watch a movie and eat your favorite food. Like, I want to spend some time with you. I know we've been working a lot, but I love you and I'm so appreciative of everything we've done in this life together, and I wanted to celebrate a little bit. I think that takes effort from both parts. I think both partners should be celebrating the relationship, especially when the other partner is maybe stressed out a little bit. Okay? And then at the end of that, maybe after showing some gratitude and showing some appreciation, you can be like, I know you've been going through it. If there's anything you ever need to talk about, I want you to know that like I've been your partner, and I know you and I love you, and I want you to know I'm here for you whenever you need to talk. I don't think you need to pry him open. I don't think that's gonna help, but I do think maybe reiterating that it is a safe space, so if he does feel the courage to share anything, he can. But I do think right now all he needs, and maybe what you need as well, is a little date night, a little let's celebrate our relationship kind of night. Let's celebrate in our new house. Let's go fuck in the kitchen. Like, I don't know, shit. Like, get crazy with it. You know what I mean? But most importantly, I think he just needs a little uplifting, especially if what you said, he's been working overtime, he's burning out. You're trying to afford things, life gets in the way sometimes, but you can always find time for romance, no matter where you are. Get creative, okay? I love you. Hi, my queen. I moved to a new city and landed my first job out of college that's not in the service industry. Okay, peace out. I'm looking forward to this new chapter. The things is I don't start until October 7th. And I also have to take a drug test, so I can't even get high during this time. Any suggestions for how to fill my days without draining my bank account? Thank you. Love you. Oh, love you. Congratulations. Okay, snaps, girl. Okay, so you, let me read back over this. Moved to a new city. You have about a month. I think you just get out and explore. I don't think you necessarily like have to. Well, I think you need to make your home a good place to live. Go thrifting, do those Facebook Marketplace researches, make sure your home is comfortable so then when you are enthralled with work, you have put in the time and energy to make this a safe space that feels comfortable coming back to. And then I think you need to, this is your time, okay? Go out, explore the city, go meet people, go take classes. There's so many free things going on in so many different cities. Especially Austin, Texas. I was so shocked how many like free community events there are. What happened to community events? Why am I paying $50 to go to a community event? I miss community events so much, you know what I mean? And I do think in most big cities, they do have a lot of free community events. Kansas City, here and there, occasionally, if you watch out for it. You can still find them, okay? But go to those local coffee shops, look at the bulletin boards. Go to those small businesses, look at the bulletin board, see what they have hanging up. Like at my Pilates class, I would have never known about this, but there was like a health and wellness like nights that they're having out in a barn somewhere, and it's like you can all these different people together, chiropractors, acupuncturists, like whoever wants to promote their businesses there. Just everybody's going out, hanging out, enjoying their time together in the wellness community. Free, obviously. You can join the raffle or whatever if you want, but free to meet these people, to talk, to experience what the community has to offer. Keep your eye peeled and make your home a safe space. I think that's what is most important during that time. Hello, beautiful. Hello, gorgeous. My question is, I'm graduating my uni degree on graphic design, in a couple of months, and I'm working on launching my own studio at the end of the semester. Love. I'm doing so because having a creative business has always been my dream, and it just feels right. However, on top of my self-doubts, the people around me aren't really excited for me. It feels like they expect the studio to flop before I have to go to a regular job. Oh my God, that would be my parents. Or that I'm opening the studio because I don't want to get a job. And it's just getting to me. They never say it explicitly, but it's the way they talk about it. That is always about plan B and not plan A, and kind of laugh it off. I do have a safe plan B, by the way. I figured that. I am not being stupid with the way I set up my business, so it's unwarranted. I feel you. You seem like a smart queen. What I'm setting out to do requires a lot of confidence. I know I have to believe in myself the most, but how do I stay strong and not let their lack of belief in me affect, sorry about that, my momentum? I really want to make this work. Thank you so much, Hannah. Your advice is always on point. Well, it seems like you have everything figured out and you're confident in yourself except for the people who are doubting you. And I do think you need to call those people out Like, my parents are this way. They're Geminis, both of them. And I know how we can be, and this is the reason, like, this is the only reason I don't want to have kids, is because I'm such like a see all sides of things, but that includes the negative. And I hate the way that they push that onto me, because it was never like, oh, we're proud of you for making this decision. It was always like, but what if it fails? And it's like, bitch, I don't want to think about that. I mean, I have obviously thought about that, but like, why are we bringing this up? And I think in this situation, you do have to call them out on that, where it's like, how would I word it? You know what? I'm very excited about this opportunity, and right now I only have space for positivity and encouragement in the direction that I'm going. And if you can't provide that for me and only want to fearmonger my successes, then maybe we need to cut back on the time we spend together. That sounds like a business email, but like, I think some people need to hear that. I do think you need to be like, what you're saying is not productive or helpful. Like, you gotta hit them with that harsh statement where it's like, I need support. I'm not here to hear the fear mongering. What I need right now, especially in this big step that I'm making as an adult, that I am proud of, that I know I will be successful in, because you probably will be. Every graphic designer I know has their own studio. Most of them do not work for companies. So what you're doing is the plan A, in my opinion. That's exactly what I would do in your situation. I think what you're gonna do, you're gonna be very successful in. I don't think you should let these people get into your head, but I do not think you should keep engaging in that conversation. And I do think it's okay to healthily set boundaries and shut down non-productive conversations, especially when they probably are a little more harmful than people intend. Like, a lot of people don't think about the words they say and they just say them. And sometimes you gotta flip it back on them and be like, what you just said was actually mean and rude, and I need support right now, and I don't think what you're saying is very supportive. And if you don't want to be supportive of me, that's fine, but also maybe I don't need to spend time with you. And there's probably a nicer way you can go about that. But yes, I do think you need to set boundaries in that sort of way, where it's like, I think you should start off being like, you know what? I am proud of myself. I did this thing. I know I'm going to be successful. I am so sorry that you have so much of a lack of enthusiasm and encouragement for me. But what I need right now in my life is somebody who is going to uplift and support me. And unfortunately, I don't think you're doing that for me. And if you can't be that for me, like, maybe I need to go home from family dinner or whatever it is. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's professors, maybe it's parents. Whoever it is, you don't have to engage in that type of conversation. You know, you can shut it down, and I do think it's important to do so. But you will be successful, and let me know when your studio opens, babe. Okay, hey, lovely lady. A coworker of mine in a relationship, oh God, T, okay, T, had an affair. Wait, I lost the question. Okay. A coworker of mine in a relationship, parentheses, had an affair with one of our managers who got engaged a few months before they started hooking up. Do you work in the service industry? This seems like a service industry thing. And my coworker ended up telling people about it when she would go out and get drunk with the crew. Restaurant industry things. Drama. The manager transferred to another store, apparently to be closer to his family, in July, but it still weighs so heavy on my heart. I'm not sure if they still hook up, but it went on for months. Do you think I should reach out to the manager's fiance, who I have never spoken to but know they are still together, or let karma/fate play out? Thank you. You gotta let karma do its thing. I'm all about being a girl's girl and like messaging people if you're the girl involved, or if you know any tea or anything like that. But especially in the workplace, I think you keep your eyes closed and you keep your ears closed. You know what I mean? If it's an interpersonal relationship, like friendship, sure, babe, DM her, start drama. You know what I mean? But I have noticed in the workplace, when affairs occur, most of the time, the couple, the other partner is aware of it. They're aware of it. It is not the first time this has happened. Unfortunately, with cheaters, usually they're serial cheaters. And I specifically remember back in my old restaurant, I was around these two people who One was in like a long-term 5-year relationship, and then the other one was like a new hot single girl who came in and she made it like her destiny and complete desire to hook up with this man, fully knowing, well aware that he had a girlfriend and they would go out and drink together. And I think she got off on that. I think he got off on it, obviously. But I never said anything. I was gonna watch from afar. I'm not one to get involved, okay? I'm here to make my money, keep my head down, and get home. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that shit. I don't want to be a part of it. But I did notice, because I was like, how the hell is this gonna happen? Like, if this is gonna blow up, like, what's gonna happen? I did notice that, of course, obviously, the girlfriend found out. And the girlfriend, like, the man doesn't care. The man did it because he knew he had that, like, air of, she's gonna stay with me. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Is that not girl of me? But, like, men are fucking insane. And I do think that sometimes you have to let things play out how they're gonna play out, but also, like, let fate take a hold of what's going on. But I do think in a lot of these where it's, like, serial cheating, it's like, oh, babe, you should have left the first time. Like, you should have left the first time, you know? Oof. I get it's weighing heavy on your heart, but also, when it comes to money, I'm not one to throw myself under the bus. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously they're not paying you to do so, but also, like, it's not your situation. It does suck to see. I get you. And, like, if you do ever see the fiance, maybe you can drop something like, oh, I thought he had a girlfriend or something like that. Like, you can say something crazy. But also, I do think in a lot of these situations, unfortunately, because in the situation that I was viewing or what was going on in my restaurant, it was like the girlfriend found out. That's it. And it's like, oh no, they're still together? Oh my God. Wow. Sometimes other people's drama is not your own drama and you don't have to get involved. Big life lesson, okay? Because, it's just so messy. It really is. I've worked at my job for 2 whole years and we've been able to work at home on Fridays up until literally this week. Now we're in office every day. The job is not worth it and I'm not passionate about what I do. My dilemma is whether or not to go back to school. I have the opportunity to go to school for massage therapy, but I'm scared to get even more loans on top of the bachelor's degree I already don't use, I'm really excited about the idea of becoming a LMT and maybe using that time to become a yoga teacher, but I'm scared of change, LOL. Love you, Hannah, and all the hotties on here, and I appreciate any input. Ooh, okay. Well, okay, A, sounds like you're not happy with your job, so I do think you have to kind of go down one of those paths. Or you gotta negotiate with your job and be like, I think first step is negotiating with your job and be like, when I signed up for this was not a requirement, and I do not think it is in the description of my job, so I'll be working from home on Fridays. That could get you fired. But I think in jobs there is negotiating, and you can voice that you would ideally like to work from home on Fridays. I think that's okay. My brother negotiated with his work, and to be fair, it's like a big boy job, but like he moved states. He works fully remote. Like, they were like, cool, as long as you fly to wherever you need to go to talk to whoever, like, you can live wherever, as long as you clock in, who cares? I do think always in the workplace there is area for negotiation. There's not always area for demand, but there is area for negotiation, especially if you're a good worker. But also, if you're not happy where you are and you don't want to work up in the company, then yeah, go down one of those other paths. I don't want to push any more loans or anything on you because that in itself is so fucking stressful. So maybe, I don't know. What's an LMT? That's interesting. Let me Google it. Oh, yoga teacher, like you said. I think a lot of yoga teacher training and certification is also just like attending classes and attending events and then working your way into a studio somewhere. Like, I think you could do that without a loan or without a degree. Massage therapy would be fun. Facial therapy would be fun. Anything like that. But I do think since you don't like your job, pursue one of those other ideas. Whatever makes the most sense to your life, your financial situation, and where you are currently. And go full throttle. Go after it, okay? I'm pretty sure my Pilates teacher doesn't have a degree in anything. She doesn't have any, maybe she has like coursework, but I doubt she has a degree. She's great, fantastic, love her. I only see one because she's so fantastic. But also, like, I'm sure she was able to get all that without much loans. So I think you could become a yoga teacher pretty fast and quickly and cheaply. Throw events. Let me know when you throw a yoga event, girl. Massage therapy would be really cool. Actually, I have a friend who just became a massage therapist. Did not take a course, did not get licensed, just started working for somebody. I think she was her assistant and then worked her way up. Started showing them hands-on. I think a lot of like small business things like that. I mean, sure, coursework, certifications are necessary, especially when you own your own business and just for health things. But also, I think they're way more available. Maybe that's not the right word. Approachable than what you might think. That's how I feel about tattooing. I was like, oh, it's gonna take forever. But it's like, as long as I get the art done and I find an apprenticeship and I put my fucking time and energy in, like, I think it's way more achievable than most people would imagine. So go after it. It sounds like you don't like your job. I feel you. You don't have to stay where you are. You can negotiate always, but also start looking at those other paths and see what works best for you. Okay, last question. Hi Hannah, so I just bought tickets for a solo trip to Rome in November. Ooh, fun. I'm so passionate about travel and I found that doing it alone has been keeping me from doing it. I guess I just want to ask for tips or advice for this trip. Thank you. I feel like I would love to go alone. I would love to go on a trip alone. I love alone time. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to compromise. You can hang out with wherever. You can go to hostels, state hostels for super cheap. I know someone who was traveling around Europe and literally they would be like on the train to somewhere and then immediately like on the train just search for hostels and then book it that day, like hours before. It was that simple. In November also, I think the whole entire span of Europe is not so overwhelmed with people from the summer traveling that Americans do. So like, I think you'll have a lot more like freedom and space, and maybe the locals will have more time to engage and spend time with you. Open your heart. Don't set expectations. The world is your expectation and you can just go out and achieve and do whatever the fuck you want. Set some goals, of course, like certain things that you have to see or like certain places that you really, really want to go and hit those. But also like, I think your only goal and priority is to have a safe and fun time. Pack light. Oh my God, pack way lighter than you could have ever imagined. Even when I'm going anywhere, and like even in the US, not that far, I have this really bad habit of packing too much. But like if you're traveling alone, you need probably like 3 good outfits and that's it. A good pair of shoes. Not a pepper spray, you can't fly with that. Something to protect yourself. And a phone charger. A phone, oh my God, a battery, a portable battery for your phone so you're not lost somewhere in Rome. And also, I think a lot more people speak English there than you can imagine, so I don't think you'll ever be like struggling. I think you'll be okay. People are friendly, people want to help you, people want to show you the culture. So I really enjoy the restaurant I work in because I forget how friendly people are. I feel like Americans in general are not very, I don't know, the community is lost. The sense of culture is lost in the sense of like, sure, family culture is there, things like that, but the community culture where it's like, sure, stop by. I don't care who you are. Like, let's chat for an hour on a patio somewhere. Like, sure, I just met you, but like, who cares? Like, I want to get to know you. And I think that is so special, and that's what makes life special. And there's so many beautiful people to meet out there who do want to open their hearts in that sort of way. So I think go in with no expectations other than meeting and enjoying the time that you do have. The world is your oyster, and you're gonna have a beautiful time. Be safe, okay? Make sure you read reviews about hostels, things like that. Make sure you have enough money. But honestly, I think you're going to be having a great time. And don't be afraid. Honestly, traveling alone through Europe would be my dream. Maybe I will. I feel like traveling with somebody is always, 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 always harder. Sure, you have like the sense of loneliness, but also there's so many people in this world to meet. And I think through being alone, you're able to open up those connections a little bit more. But I love you. Eat a really good slice of pizza for me. Go look at some beautiful artwork. Go live your little Rome fantasies. Go run around on a moped somewhere. Ugh, and have the best time. Anyways, that being said, happy Thursday, Patreon, girlies, and I guess girlies from the rest of the world. I forgot I loaded this bowl. I got into like a ramble phase. My God, I just rambled for an hour, so sorry. But also, let's hit this, and then I will let you guys go on about your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my patrons and all your questions. If you want to join the Patreon, we do this every week, sometimes longer. I do every single question. I wasn't picking and choosing. It was, no, I'm hitting every question, I'm giving a full answer. Like, I want to make sure what you're paying for is well worth your time. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what's going on in your life. I love engaging with you guys and getting to know you guys. Like, I know you know so much about me, but I love hearing from you as well and from my community. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Hopefully the rest of this week treats you well. I think it'll be a beautiful one. I think I'm going to take my parents' dog for another walk around the park. I want to get out like in a park somewhere. Eat a yummy lunch, cook a yummy dinner. I think we're doing quesadillas. I love a quesadilla. Actually, I just love guacamole, but I love what you use to scoop the guacamole as well. Whether it's a chip or a quesadilla. And I have to put away laundry. Ugh, adult tasks, boo. But that being said, let's hit this and I'll let you get on with your day. Vlogs coming soon. I promise. Love you. Have a great week. Mwah.